lawlessness will increase in the last days. Freedom will be erased in the last days as dictatorships grow, as world government grows, as lockdowns increase because of uh, pandemics, because of World War III, whatever it may be, martial law. I'm reminded of Matthew chapter 24. And it says, because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. Another translation says, because iniquity abounds, because sin abounds. But he who endures till the end shall be saved. And the gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all nations, and then the end will come. So when does the end come? Well, lawlessness will abound, and you need to endure to the end. The gospel will be preached unto all the world as a witness to all nations, and then the end comes. And then it goes into verse 15 here, talking about the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place. This is the third temple. This is what it speaks of, the third temple in the second half of the 7-year period, the abomination of desolation, where the Antichrist sets himself up as God and declares himself to be God. And that's the red line when God says, all right, that's it. The wrath is coming. Prior to that, the first 3.5 years are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, which we are going to be around for. And that's why it says, but he who endures to the end shall be saved. You need to stay firm in your salvation. You need to finish the race. You need to continue to run the race. But this lawfare, in terms of Trump in the U.S., as just one example, this is one example of lawlessness, sin abounding. I watched a video about North Korea, a documentary, and people are indoctrinated from birth. The state educates all the kids, and they grow up standing in line and saluting the supreme leader as and declaring him to be God effectively. And it's a sad situation now. Christianity is one of those things that is growing in the persecuted church, especially in China and North Korea. But the penalty is death if you're found to be doing that. So it's they pay a great price for their faith in North Korea, but it's a sad situation and those people need to be reached. It's an incredible story of what is occurring there. It's like a fairy tale, and when visitors go there, they don't see anything of what the regular North Korean people. You don't see anything about how they live there. But this dictatorship, people say, well, that's North Korea. We don't live in a dictatorship. Our thought is not controlled like it is in North Korea. We are fed, we are given truth. We have access to truth. Well, look at mainstream media. It looks a lot like what the media is in North Korea, which is all declaring the primacy of the dictator, Kim Jong-un in that case. Well, we have thought police and things straight out of 1984, which is this dystopian, apocalyptic sort of view of an overarching world government and local government which records and watches your every move. And this is what happens in North Korea. They have cameras and microphones everywhere. People are afraid to say anything against the government, against the dictator. And they live in that surreal world where they don't dare speak the truth or anything that is not allowed. And, in Australia, for example, they're putting together the Ministry of Truth. The Ardern, the New Zealand health minister, I think it was, or maybe it was a prime minister, she said, you know what, the government is the sole source of truth. Well, the police have come out in regard to the Australian knife attack on the priest there. And the police have come out and said, look, we are the sole source of truth on the subject of the knife attack. And they have told Twitter, Facebook, and all those other YouTube to take that video down because they wanted to control the narrative. They didn't want to, in the name of public health and safety, they didn't want to incite another terrorist attack. They took that video down and they said, we are the sole source of truth when it comes to this particular event. And so that's scary, and they are not backing down from, thought police being the source of truth. Again, go read 1984. At least go watch a video about what it's about, and you'll understand about the complete control of the state. This is your hedge. This is British police who walked into a man's house because after the stabbing attempt, or it wasn't an attempt, he did stab the priest. The priest is alive. But a new video has emerged, and this is on Twitter, showing an Orthodox Christian man in the UK received a home visit from police and a psychologist. Do you know what? Soon, if you say you're Christian, they will say you are crazy. You are an anti-vaxxer. You are an anti-government agent. They will put you in a madman's suit, and they will take you away to a mental health hospital. This is what they will do. So the police visited this man, and along with him was again a psychologist. I won't play it for you. You can go to Twitter to understand. Again, this is in the name of public health and safety. Of course, they want to make sure this person isn't a terrorist and isn't going to act out in some fashion. But the fact that it's happening, the fact that they're watching your social media posts and coming after you and just having a nice talk with you, just to see what you really think about Christians standing up, or is the rise of Islam, or do you have any concerns? Do you have anything against the government in your country? It's incredible, folks. This is in the UK. I would say if you're in the UK, think about moving now, because the totalitarian state is upon you. They are watching everything you do. Now, I'm not naive. They're watching everything we do in the US and Canada too. They're just not yet visiting your house if you say something. And I will warn you, don't say things on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, such as this, that the police may think you're a terrorist. Again, hate speech that's another thing. You know what you need to be doing? You need to be getting rid of your electronics, and you need to be having in-person talks with people. You need to build your local community, because ultimately that's what's going to help you in the struggle that is to come, as Wrangler Star would put it, the coming great struggle. Because the government's going to be listening in and watching every word you say, and they're going to be tracking you with your cell phone everywhere you go. They know when you go to the grocery store. They know when you go to the post office. They know when you fill up with gas. Not just on your cell phone data, but on your Interact card. They can see all the history. They see the geo positioning and geo information of photographs that you've taken on your cell phone. They can access that. They can read all that. They can get all that information. The FISA law updates in the United States is basically confirming and opening up the law. The intelligence agencies were already pulling, spying on citizens of the U.S. Now they have a law which they're trying to put through for the FISA stuff, that indeed they can legally spy on you. No longer does it have to be a kind of a black ops sort of thing. So this is a scary situation in the UK. You get out of there. What's going to happen when this starts happening in Canada? I'm going to have to reconsider. But you know what? Where do you go? Do you go to the U.S.? Well, they're not much better. Where can you go? I don't know. Maybe off into the woods and dig yourself a hole in the ground or something. But this is hard to get away from. So I guess the point is, what I'm saying is that lawlessness is going to increase, iniquity will abound, the love of many will grow cold, just like in North Korea, where your neighbors will rat you out because they want to be given a good a pat on the back by the dictator, by the government. They want to get maybe a little extra money, a bribe to turn you in, and they don't want to be taken out by the government. So they're going to rat on you. What did they do during the pandemic? The government said, effectively, if you see anything bad going on, people not wearing masks, you call the police. You rat on your neighbor if they are breaking the laws of the lockdown. That's what they said. They said it in Canada. They did it in Australia. That's absolutely sure. Are you free where you are? You're not even free in the United States anymore, folks. I'll tell you that, because the government has so much power now and so much control. Be prepared. This only gets worse in the last days, and that's not a happy, not a happy story. But it does have a happy ending when, as we go through the tribulation, not the great tribulation, but as we go through the great as we go through the tribulation, the first 3.5 years, 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, expect this sort of thing to be coming to a a country, a government near you, or to your specific government, I guess I'll say. I'll leave there, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.